What's going to happen is now the entire public is going to see what happens.
I think I think Ryan got a little trolling and insecure.
To convince the public that the real problem in this lawsuit with Justin Baldoni is actually the fact that he's too positive.
Actress Blake Lively and her actor husband Ryan Reynolds want to keep their messages with seemingly their A-list friend out of the hands of the public.
Full access to what is discoverable between Blake Lively and other celebrities.
Today, we're diving into the latest drama involving Candace Owens and Hollywood power couple Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds as tensions heat up in the ongoing court case against Justin Baldoni. Candace Owens has some strong words to share. Buckle up because you won't want to miss this one. Recently, Candace Owens took aim at Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds after the couple tried to push the narrative that the real issue with Justin Baldoni was his so-called toxic positivity. Owens didn't hold back, blasting the duo for what she described as an absurd attempt to criticize someone for being overly positive. She's not pulling any punches in this heated back and forth. Let's dive in.
We have learned using their former CIA agents, they've hired them, to convince the public that the real problem in this lawsuit with Justin Baldoni is actually the fact that he's too positive. I gotta tell you, after learning this, reading the articles, reading the deep dive, I am in fact prepared to switch teams. So I want to show you it. Maybe you're going to feel the exact same way. Check out this headline in the New York Post. This is a real headline. Justin Baldoni accused of toxic positivity by former employees amid Blake Lively lawsuit. And here's a direct quote. It felt phony. Ooh. Oh, yeah. And that article is actually quoting from another article, which was featured in the LA Times. They're the ones that did the real work, the CIA work, to get to the bottom of this very apparent flaw in Justin Baldoni's character. And I gotta agree, because, when I watch his videos, I'm like, my cousin is way too positive. It's toxic, and I never thought that this could be a term that could be used to dissuade the public against somebody. And here's a quotation from that article. It reads, but to some observers, his public gestures, such as filming himself giving clothing to a homeless man or asking employees to sign their emails with the phrase, so much love, it felt performative, aimed at self-branding as much as bringing about genuine change. One employee says, off record, quote, it was constant positivity all the time. I would say toxic positivity, end quote, said one former Farer staffer. They continue, quote, I'm always a little bit dubious of people who advertise themselves as disruptors of the status quo or quote unquote good people.
Let's dig even deeper into the drama. Candace Owens recently shared some crucial insights into the protective orders being requested in the case. While Justin Baldoni's team is asking for a standard protective order, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are pushing for one with extra protection. This heightened request could potentially keep a significant amount of important information from ever seeing the light of day, raising even more questions about what's being hidden.
Judge is willing to limit the case to a standard protective order for all the text messages and emails that are received during the course of subpoenas, which both sides have already agreed to, a standard protective order, or whether he will be issuing a rather extraordinary AEO, which stands for Attorney's Eyes Only Protection Order, which in many ways means that Judge Lehman would be removing himself as the judge of what the public should have access to, right? It would allow the respective attorneys to remove that power from the judge because they could just mark whatever they want AEO. Like, this is what is allowed to be seen by only the attorneys. And you can't even show Justin Baldoni, you can't show Blake Lively, and we can just mark whatever document we want to AEO. And I have been, I think, rather accurately referring to this as the Taylor Swift protective clause, right? Well, Judge Lehman, while he hasn't made a final decision just yet in this matter, has come out and accurately assessed exactly what this case is. He's calling it a war between PR firms.
Blake Lively isn't just asking for a protective order. She's pushing for an extra layer of protection. Why? Because she's determined to keep her private messages under wraps. It seems that Blake and Ryan's heightened precautions are all about preventing their personal texts, especially those exchanged with other celebrities, from being made public.
So in today's dramatic courtroom showdown, and there's no cameras there, so we're doing our best to recap about what happened, lawyers squared off about whether or not private text messages from the A-list couple, Lively and Reynolds, should be shielded from public view. This is all amid fears that they could be leaked to the tabloids. And during the hearing, the couple's attorney, Meryl Gavrnsky, argued passionately for an extra layer of security to keep sensitive information under wraps. And this is all connected to a proposal for a protective order that Lively's team had filed back on February 20th. And this is the reason the parties met in court today. Now, protective orders, generally speaking, they do a bunch of things, but generally they govern the disclosure of certain information in a case. And so today in court, as well as in the proposal for the protective order, Lively's team was requesting a designation called attorney's eyes only for certain materials. And this includes private text messages with other high-profile individuals, details about the couple's mental health, security measures they've taken during this ongoing feud. And Lively's attorneys are saying, look, we don't want anyone other than attorneys to have access to this information, hence the attorney's eyes only designation, which I'm going to explain a little bit more in a bit. But it basically means that anything that falls under that designation can't be viewed by anyone other than the attorneys themselves.
Among the private messages Blake is desperate to protect are exchanges with none other than Taylor Swift, who has now been revealed to have some involvement in the whole situation, adding even more intrigue to the mystery. On top of that, Blake and Ryan are claiming they have medical issues that could be exposed if the protective order isn't granted. While the exact nature of these medical issues remains unclear, the couple is clearly worried about their privacy. But the big question is, how much of this is truly about safeguarding personal details? And how much is it about preventing potentially scandalous information?
And this is by Rolling Stones, Blake Lively wants to protect conversations with their famous friends amid Justin Baldoni lawsuit. Justin Baldoni's filings have already indicated that Taylor Swift was privy to some relevant events in the ongoing lawsuit between the actor, Lively, and her husband, Ryan Reynolds. Now, if you listened live, you might have the same opinion I do, which is Blake Lively's lawyers didn't really make a strong point. Now, they're the ones arguing for the protective order. Justin Baldoni's side is saying, look, why don't we do it on a case-by-case basis? We don't care about your security detail or any of those specifics, but to say you want a protective order, what if there's information between those text messages which shows that Blake Lively was operating in a way that is, very damning? Now, I'll tell you what, if the judge denies Blake Lively's protective order request, and then Blake Lively ends up dismissing her case or wants to settle, that, my friends, would be very, very interesting, because that would mean somebody doesn't want whatever on those text messages to get out. In other news, Daily Mail also reporting Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds clash with Justin Baldoni again, as couple claim their profound medical issues are at risk of being leaked. Yeah, I know, but that's the deal, right? If you're going to claim that you were harassed and that you have all these mental health issues because of it, that stuff's going to come out in court, and I hate that for the instance where I hate that innocent people feel like they don't want to be dragged through court because of what might come of that. But at the same time, Justin Baldoni was dragged publicly.